Om Tava Kathamritam Tapta Jeevanam Kavibhirididam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Ubhigrananti Te Purita Janaha. We are continuing the chapter 36 of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Master's birthday. It's actually the next day, another day, a date. It's February 25th, 1885. Sri Ramakrishna was at the house of Girish Ghosh in Bosepara Lane, Calcutta. It was about 3 o'clock when M arrived and prostrated himself before him. The master was going to see a play at the Star Theatre. He was talking with the devotees about the knowledge of Brahman. Star Theatre is a theatre owned, run by Girish Ghosh, and many other plays he himself wrote and acted also. And Sri Ramakrishna has often gone there to see some of the plays. Now he is talking with the devotees about knowledge of Brahman. Master, man experiences 3 states of consciousness: waking, dream, and deep sleep. Those who follow the path of knowledge explain away the 3 states. According to them, Brahman is beyond the 3 states. It is also beyond the gross, the subtle, and the causal bodies, and beyond the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. All these are maya, like a reflection in a mirror. The reflection is by no means the real substance. Brahman alone is the substance, and all else is illusory. The knowers of Brahman say further that it is the identification of the soul with the body that creates the notion of duality. In that state of identification, the reflection appears real. When this identification disappears, the man realizes, I am he, I am Brahman. So he's talking about the knowledge of Brahman. Usually he talks about devotion, but here he's talking about knowledge of Brahman. So knowledge of Brahman that means Advaita Vedanta. And Gaudapada, the teacher of Shankaracharya's teacher, is the greatest exponent of Advaita Vedanta. According to him, to understand the supreme reality, the highest truth, we have to take the totality of human experiences. We usually take only our ordinary experiences, that is of the waking state. The others, we don't pay much attention to what happens when we are dreaming or in the deep sleeps. But Gaudapada Acharya says, to know the highest truth, we have to take the totality, all the 3 states, the whole experiences. And analyzing the 3 states, Gaudapada Acharya, he speaks about an unchanging reality, entity behind the 3 states, which is always present as the witness, not taking part in anything, just remaining as a witness. That unchanging reality we call Atman or self, and that is present in all the 3 states, in the waking state, the dream state, deep sleep, but we are not aware of it. It's unknown, it remains unknown. Now, here Sri Ramakrishna talks about the 3 states and the 3 bodies, the gross, the subtle, and causal. And so that needs a bit of explanation. The gross body functions in a waking state. Physical body. We are aware of the physical body, and the physical body is the gross body. It's made up of the 5 elements: space, air, fire, water, and earth. They are subtle elements, but they combine with parts of other and become gross, and then make the gross body out of these 5 elements. And the components are head, hands, legs, central body. And what is the function? Function of the gross body? Temporary residence. For a short time, we reside in that. It's a house taken for a short time, for a lease for a few years. Then we live there for a few years and then go away. It's not a permanent residence. No, it's temporary residence. And that gross body used to react or contact, have connection, interact with the physical world, with the gross world. And they are subject to change, limited to natural life, and everybody can see it. We say that it's visible to all because the subtle, when you compare with the other 2 bodies, they are not visible. That's why they mentioned here, visible to everybody. So this gross body functions only in the waking state. And identifying with the gross body, the individual soul enjoys a physical world, gross objects. And that also happens only in the waking state. When we are awake, we see, we hear, we touch, we taste, we smell, all the sense objects. Objects of enjoyment, all the physical objects, gross objects we enjoy through the gross body, but that happens only in the waking state. In the dream, we don't see anything with the eyes, our physical eyes, or hear. But of course, in the dream state, we enjoy all these things, but that's all in the dream, part of a dream. And this gross body has no function or status in the dream state or the deep sleep stage. So Shankaracharya compares this gross body to a house. A person has built a house, but so much attached to the house that if the house breaks down, get upset. Just like us. We get we get some illness, we get so upset. The body dissolves, goes away, we are upset. That's just like the person getting too much attached to the house. The person doesn't realize that he or she can build another house. The means are there. No, but we so much attached that we get upset about that. That's and that is our state often. We get attached to the physical body so much. Then we come to the subtle body. Subtle body is made up of the subtle elements. The 5 elements we said earlier: sky, space, air, fire, water, earth. The subtle elements, before they combine with others and become gross, make up the subtle body. And the subtle body is constituted of all the internal world, the world of our thought, feelings, memories, ego sense, all are part of the subtle body and made up of the impressions that we get. See, when we, in the physical world, when we are awake, the waking state, the actions, speech, everything leave impression in our mind. So that impressions determine our tendencies or vasanas. And the subtle body is made up of these impressions. They decide what sort of body we get, the physical body. Our impressions, the impressions that we make through our actions or speech, whatever it is, those impressions, the samskaras, they determine the type of body we have, the type of life we lead. If we have got good impressions, we we have a good character, we lead a good life, progressing on the spiritual path. But if you got bad impressions, you will do evil deeds. So these impressions are very important. And what happens when we die? It's only the gross body that dissolves. The subtle body doesn't dissolve. The soul leaves the subtle body, the soul leaves the gross body, taking the subtle body with it. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, just like air carries fragrance from the flowers, the wind carries fragrance from the flowers, the soul leaves the physical body, the gross body, taking the subtle body, the mind, the impressions, all that, and then the soul carries that and takes another gross body, which is suitable for it to work out all those impressions. So we can say the subtle body with all the impressions is the real person. The gross body is just a covering, as the house. House is not the important the person. The person who is living in the house is the important one, most important one, not the house. House is the physical body is just a cover. The subtle body is the real person. It's the real person consisting of the sensory system, the psychic system, nervous system, all that subtle body. So subtle body is the real person. And where do we see is manifested? The subtle body. Look at the subtle body. Subtle space, subtle air, subtle fire, subtle water, subtle earth. And the components are the 5 organs of knowledge. What are the 5 organs of knowledge? Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Through that, we get impressions or experience from the external world. So they are the 5 organs of knowledge. Then 5 organs of action. Hands, feet, tongue. Tongue has got tongue is the organ of knowledge while it is tasting, and organ of action because it speaks. Then the organs of evacuation and reproduction. So they are the 5 organs of action. Then the 5 pranas. 5 pranas, we'll see that in the next slide. The vital airs. Then mind, intellect, memory, ego. These 8 categories, or we can say as 8 category if considering organs of knowledge as 1, organs of action 2, pranas 3, and then mind, intellect, memory, ego. Or then there is, one more is there. There is the 5 elements like space, the first one that we say, space, air, fire, water, earth. So you can consider it as 8, or splitting all this, we can make it into 14, 19. So it is the subtle body that thinks, works, feels, and experience joy and sorrow. Everything happens in subtle body. Physical body is just a showpiece, that's all. And what is the nature of the function? It transacts the world using the 19 instruments. And nature is subject to change, doesn't remain the same. Continues into future life. As I said earlier, at the time of death, the soul leaves the physical body carrying the subtle body. So continues in the future life. And is only evident to myself. Nobody else can see it. Nobody else can experience my subtle body. It's only evident to myself. So again, subtle body components, 5 organs of knowledge, 5 organs of action, 4 internal organs, mind, intellect, memory, and ego, and 5 pranas. That we already dealt again, just showing again once more. The next one. At the bottom of the 5 pranas. Prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. Respiratory system. Apana is responsible for waste removal. Vyana is responsible for circulating oxygen and nutrition. Samana responsible for converting food into nutrition. And udana ejecting subtle body from the gross body at the time of death. Then this subtle body functions its full manifestation is in the dream state. Functions of subtle body, again you're saying. Mind receives through knowledge, sense of organs of knowledge gives the information from the external world. It comes to the mind. So mind is a receiving station, doesn't know whether it is good or bad, what is this, something new. It doesn't know. It's oscillating, vacillating. The intellect determines, analyzes and determines, oh, this is such and such. This person is known to me. This idea is known to me, or this thing is known to me. Determines and decides, intellect, buddhi. Then the ego comes up saying, I know this person. I know this flower. The ego comes up saying, I. And then it keeps, intellect checks with the memory also. Have I seen this person before? And then if says, check the ego and the memory, chitta, and find, oh yes, I know this person. And then gives instruction to the organ of action. They greet the person, smile at the person. All those instructions come. They are all done by the subtle body. We think that the physical body is doing all these things. No, physical body is just a cover. Everything is done by the subtle body. Reasoning, thinking, instructing, everything. Only the external appearance the physical body gives, the gross body gives. The subtle body has its greatest manifestation in the dream state. We'll, after the causal body, we come to the three states we'll show. In the dream state, the buddhi, the intellect, that creates the new world, taking all the experience of the waking state. In the dream state, from I'm dreaming, I'm lying in my bed in Sharda Tapovan, and in the dream I go to India. I participate in a function in Sharda Math. Who made the travel? Who made the function program? I'm here, the body is here, but I'm seeing all these things, all created by my mind, my intellect, my buddhi. You have to remember, buddhi is a part of the mind. Depending upon the function, we call it mind, buddhi, ahangara, and chitta. So my mind, my buddhi creates a new world, lights up. Have you ever seen a dream which is completely dark? All our dreams are bright. We see a lot of light. Where is the light coming? Everything our buddhi is producing everything. Who produces the world? Who produces the people in the dream? Everything is produced by our buddhi. Our buddhi produces everything, the new world, the dream world, sustains it, and then at the end of the dream, dissolves it. The buddhi is the master. Everything, all powerful, buddhi thinks. But just behind the buddhi, there's the Atman shining as the witness. Buddhi doesn't know. The Atman is just behind it. But buddhi thinks, I'm the creator, I'm sustaining, I'm doing everything. But Atman shines there in all its glory. The Atman is present in the waking state also. But there is more cover is there. The gross body and the subtle body covers the Atman. Whereas in the dream state, only the subtle body covers the Atman. Only the buddhi is covering. And the third state, we are now, see the dream state. Only memory faculty or subtle body is functioning. Nature of experience, internal world, abstract world, subjective experience, memory and vasanas based on experiences. It's an abstract, subjective experience. Everything I experience, I am present there. I create everything. My buddhi present creates everything, and I experience everything. I create all the other people also. Suppose I am dreaming that I'm talking to you in the Vedanta hall, giving this talk. I create all of you. So my buddhi creates everything, and I experience. I do everything. So it's a subjective experience. And subtle body has got maximum exposure in the dream state. Now we come to the third one, the causal body. Expresses itself in the deep sleep. Causal body and deep sleep goes. And it is made out of avidya, nescience or maya. And maya constitutes of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. So the three gunas making up the maya, that is the causal body. And deep sleep is its special state. There, what happens to the mind and the sense organs? They don't work there in deep sleep. They're all suspended. Mind remains in a very seed form. That's why when in deep sleeps, what happened? We say, after we come out of deep sleep, we say, I had a very good sleep. I didn't know anything. That's a universal experience. Everybody says the same thing. If you had a good sleep, if you had a deep sleep without any dream, then you feel refreshed. You come out. When you wake up, you say, oh, I had a wonderful sleep. I didn't know anything. Along with wonderful sleep, deep sleep, you add this also, I didn't know anything. But who said that you had a good sleep? If you didn't know anything, who said you had a good sleep? There was somebody watching you having a good sleep. That's the Atman, the self. It was present there. But the mind was not there. That's why you had a very peaceful sleep. The mind was not agitating. My mind was not bringing any impressions. In the dream, you don't get after that, if you had a sleep full of dreams, the body is not rested fully because my mind is agitated, good or bad, whatever it is. Dreams can be pleasant dreams, terrifying dreams, whatever it is, the mind is agitated. So you don't get that peace when you have not that refreshing experience when you wake up. But deep sleep, even for a short time, refreshes completely because the mind is completely suspended. It's not working at all. Not that the mind is gone away, but it is completely covered by ignorance. So made up out of causal matter, avidya. The subtle and gross body is in seed form. Serves as storehouse for the subtle and gross body. It's there. Not that gross body has disappeared. When we sleep, we are there. The body is there. And the mind and impressions, they haven't disappeared. They have subsided. It's all completely covered, overpowered by avidya, ignorance. And the causal body, avidya, because it is made of avidya, it is there till you get realization. So that's why it's called eternal life. And not evident to myself. We are not aware of our causal body. Because the mind is not there. Mind is at that time in the causal body, the deep sleep state, the mind is covered by avidya. And to know something, we need the mind. So we are not aware of it. Though we say I didn't know anything in the deep sleep, but we experience peace. We experience after a good sleep and feel happy. That happiness comes because the presence of the Atman there, blissful Atman there. Go to the next one. See, we have already covered this, but waking state comes. All the faculties of the subtle body are fully operational because, as I said earlier, the gross body is just a cover. And what are we experiencing? The external world, the tangible world, objective experience, sense organs-based experience, two-way transaction, all because the deep idea is the subtle body is within, but it is expressing through the gross body in the waking state. Gross body and the subtle body. In the waking state, subtle body is also there, but we are not aware of because so much of noise and confusion of the waking state, we are not aware of the subtle body functioning, but it is functioning because all the things that the physical gross body does actually is done by the subtle body. It's just as we dress up, the gross body is just a covering for the subtle body. Then the dream state, only memory is there, subtle body is functioning, internal world, all created by the buddhi, abstract, we already done it. Subjective experience, memory and vasana-based experience, and subtle body. And then the deep sleep where nothing is there. Subtle body is almost dormant. State of total ignorance, self-ignorance. Avidya is covering everything, Maya. And that medium of experience is causal body. Now, the Maya, which is covering everything, is made up of the three gunas, the sattva, rajas, and tamas. And these three gunas make the whole universe. Sattva, rajas, and tamas, they make the whole universe is made up of these three gunas. When we say gunas in ordinary language, when we speak guna, we say guna is a nature or character or attribute, quality. No. When we speak here guna in Vedanta or Sankhya, it is not nature, quality or attribute, but it's a fundamental, subtle substance which constitute Prakriti. We cannot have any direct idea of the gunas. We can only infer them from the results, the qualities presented to the world. And what are they? The sattva, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva is revealing power. It's often we say sattva is light, bright, calmness, serenity. All this goes with sattva. Rajas, projecting power, activity, restlessness, confusion. And then it is, when you speak about color, it's always, sattva is mostly white, rajas is red, and tamas is black. And tamas is veiling power, is covering everything. That's why we, in the prayer, as we say, lead me from darkness to light. From tamas to sattva, we want to move. And rajas is all activity. Whereas tamas is complete inertia. We don't want to do anything. Laziness, sleepiness, confusion, utter confusion. That's all qualities of tamas. In our everyday life, everybody has got all these three qualities. At night when we sleep, we are under the control of tamas. We need that because sleeping time is the time when the body regenerates. So we need sleep. And we are active sometime. Part of the time, our waking state, we do different things. So we are at that time, rajas is predominant. And then when we sit quietly, say for our prayer or meditation, sattva is more predominant. So all the three qualities, three gunas are working always in the body in our day-to-day life. But we say one person is more sattvic depending upon the predominant quality. In sleep, tamas is most. In waking, in the dream state, in deep sleep, it's complete tamas. Everything is covered. Mind, sense, organs, everything is under the influence of ignorance. In dream state, tamas and rajas are there. And waking state, rajas and sattva. And bit of tamas also is there. And ordinary people, their rajas and tamas is dominating. But on those who sattva dominates, then we say the person has progressed on the spiritual path. And this mixture of the three gunas is causing all the repeated birth and death for us. See, sattva is responsible for thinking, knowing, and perceiving functions of sentient beings. All this knowledge comes through sattva. Rajas is projecting power, extrovert mind. Tamas, inertia. Not capable of doing or knowing or doing. Don't know, I can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm lazy, I'm tired. That's tamas. A dull tamasic mind hides the truth. Can't do anything. Don't want to explore, exert. No. It's all under tamas, inertia. That's why when Swami Vivekananda came back from the West, he was saying, he was in his speeches and lectures in India, he was saying the whole country is immersed in tamas. Just wake up. First from tamas, and extremes look alike. So people think, oh, we are in the highest state of sattva, but they were completely immersed in tamas. So Swami Vivekananda tried to wake them up. Have some energy, do something. Then you come to state of rajas. Only by coming to from tamas you come to rajas, and then only then you can go to sattva, state of sattva. Without going through rajas, through activity, you cannot reach the serene, calm state. But all these, according to Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, all these, the three states of waking, dream, and deep sleep, the three bodies, three gunas, they're all changing, constantly changing. See, again, once more comparison of three gunas. Tamas is dull mind, hides awareness, sluggish, lazy, prone to depression. Fear interprets experiences. But one good thing is it's help us to rest. We all need that rest. That tamas gives. And hinders self-inquiry. Don't want to know anything. And rajas, extroverted mind, hides awareness, anger, anxiety, frustration, aggression, boredom, and want to interpret all the experiences. And when we try to achieve something in our life, we are pushed forward by rajas. Sattva is calm, reveals awareness. Mind is present, wise, happy, free from desires. Truth interprets experience, allows proper discrimination, facilitates and self-inquiry. All that, the higher path, following the higher path when sattva is predominant. But according to Advaita Vedanta, all these are changing. So they are not real. Anything that is changing is not real. Something which is not changing at all, that alone is real, that alone is truth. According to Advaita Vedanta, definition for real is that which is existing in the past, present, and future, which does not change at all. All the three bodies, the three states of waking, sleep, and dream, everything changes. Gunas change. Everything changes. So they are all unreal. They are all Maya. And what is Maya? They are all. So Sri Ramakrishna says, all these are Maya, like a reflection in a mirror. The reflection is not the real thing. The picture that we see is not the real thing. It's just a reflection. But to have the reflection, there should be something real. Without any substance, without a real substance, you don't get a reflection. That real substance is the Atman, the Brahman. So you have to remember, Atman is and Brahman are same, only use two terms, different terms, whether you're considering the individual body or the cosmic. That's only difference. So that is the real substance. Brahman is the real substance. All these, the three, these are all like reflection seen in the mirror. But our sad state is we identify with the reflection and take it for granted. That is as a real thing. Brahman alone is the substance. All else is illusory. The knowers of Brahman say further that it is the identification of the soul with the body that creates a notion of duality. So we identify with the body and say, I. So as soon as I comes, it's a separate individual because the body is separate and all other bodies are separate. So there is duality is there. In that state of identification, the reflection appears real. The reflection that we see in the mirror, we take it as a real thing. We sometimes see little children or very small, even not even toddlers, even little smaller one, seeing if they keep a mirror in front, think that's a real person. Or you can see sometimes the animals do that. We have seen the kitten doing that or birds doing that, especially in Tapovan, around a swimming pool, we have got a glass fence. And sometimes we see the pigeons sitting on one side, see the reflection and try to peck that. See the pecking on that bird. It's the same reflection, it doesn't realize. We are like that. We think that, oh, these foolish birds. We are no better than that. We identify with the reflection, think that that's of us. When this identification disappears, man realizes, I am he, I am Brahman. A devotee. Then shall we follow the path of reasoning? That's the question. If this is how it should be, we should get rid of the identification. So shall we follow the path of reasoning? This is just like similar to the question that Arjuna asked in the Bhagavad Gita in the 12th chapter that we are doing now, Bhakti Yoga. Arjuna asked the question, who is greater, who has got better idea of yoga? The one who is following the path of bhakti or the one who is following the path of knowledge? the devotee. Then shall we all follow the path of reasoning? Master. Reasoning is one of the paths. See, reasoning is one of the paths. It is the path of the Vedantis. But there is another path, the path of bhakti. We have the four paths: path of knowledge, reasoning, path of bhakti, devotion, path of meditation, concentration, contemplation, and the path of action, selfless, unattached action. But there is another path, the path of bhakti. If a bhakta weeps longingly for the knowledge of Brahman, he receives that as well. These are the two paths, jnana and bhakti. Now, if the devotee is very keen, if the person who pray to God, pray to personal God, God with form, but also allowed to have the knowledge of Brahman, Sri Ramakrishna says, if the devotee is keen to have the knowledge of Brahman, he will have it. But usually devotees don't want that. And the example he gives is, having knowledge of Brahman, what is it? I am Brahman, I am that. So Sri Ramakrishna says, the devotee doesn't want to become sugar. No, becoming Brahman is, I am becoming sugar. No, I want to taste sugar. The devotee wants to enjoy God in different forms, in different forms, names, attributes, in different ways. Because when we think about God with form, we can have all the different emotions, the human emotions, we turn towards God. So we can enjoy God in different ways. One may attain the knowledge of Brahman by either path, by the path of jnana or bhakti. Some retain bhakti even after realizing Brahman in order to teach humanity. An incarnation of God is one of these. See, retain bhakti even after realizing Brahman. They have realized, I am that ultimate reality, I am Brahman, that realization has come. But still hold on or keep the knowledge and the bhakti also to teach people. If there is no sense of duality, how can somebody teach you? The person is seeing everything as Brahman, whom to teach? There is no separate entity. Shuka, the greatest, or you can say, the knower of Brahman, he was immersed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, Jada Samadhi. But then he was the one meant to expound Bhagavatam, the glory of the Lord. But he was immersed in Samadhi. So the composer, Vyasa, asked some people to chant 4 verses describing the glory of the Lord. So they chanted, and hearing those verses, his mind came down from that higher state. And they say, first his hair stood on end, then tears started rolling down his eyes, then slowly the mind came down. Then he was asked to expound Bhagavatam. So there's a purpose. So now, even after having attained the highest knowledge of Brahman, they keep the knowledge of the bhakti attitude. Look at Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna was immersed in Nirvikalpa Samadhi for 6 months at a stretch. But afterwards, what happened? Divine Mother told him, Bhava Mukhe Thakur, keep on the borderline of the physical, the external world and the internal world. Because he has got a purpose. He has a mission to accomplish, to teach the world. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. An incarnation of God is one of these. Even Swamiji, When Swamiji had the Nirvikalpa Samadhi experience, he wanted to remain in that state. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you have got mother's work to do. Till then, this experience will be locked up and the key will be with me. Once you have finished your work, finish all the mother's work, then you can experience it. Now, you cannot experience it now because you have got work to do. They are the teachers, world teachers, great teachers. A man cannot easily get rid of the ego and the consciousness that the body is the soul. It becomes possible only when, through the grace of God, he attains samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, jada samadhi. Only then the ego disappears. Till then, the ego will come back. However much we think that we are free from ego, the very fact that I think, oh, I am free from ego, shows you my ego is there. It is very prominent because I am free from ego. So it's not easy. Ego, it's possible only when he attains samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, jada samadhi. The ego of incarnation returns to them when they come down from the plane of samadhi. When the highest says like Shukadeva or Sri Ramakrishna coming down from the highest Swamiji, from the highest state of nirvikalpa samadhi coming down to body consciousness, the ego also comes back immediately. But that ego is different. Then it is the ego of knowledge or the ego of devotion. Through the ego of knowledge, they teach men. Shankaracharya get the ego of knowledge. Through ego of knowledge, through ego of devotion, they are able to function in the world, teach people, humanity. And Sri Ramakrishna says that is the ripe ego. Our ego is the unripe ego, saying, I am so and so, I am so powerful, I am so rich, I am so beautiful. Or I. As Gayatriprana Maharaj used to say, first person singular. Everything is first person singular. So important. That is the unripe ego, causing all the problem. But the ripe ego of knowledge, ego of devotion, and Sri Ramakrishna said that's for the incarnates, not great teachers. So what about us? How can we change the unripe ego? He says, have the idea that you are a child of God, you are a servant of God. The I is still there, but that won't cause you much harm. It will help you to get rid of those ego. Through the ego of devotion, Chaitanya Deva tasted divine love and enjoyed the company of devotees. He talked about God and chanted his name through ego of devotion. Here, Sri Ramakrishna often says, when his mind is completely getting lost, then he will pray, Mother, don't give me knowledge of Brahman. I want to talk with the devotees. I want to enjoy devotees. I want to sing with them. To keep the ego of devotion. To keep the mind. If the mind is completely lost, absorbed in nirvikalpa samadhi, what's the point of God taking a human form? He won't be able to help anybody. He won't be able to uplift humanity. So he has to, even after going to the higher state, he has to come down. Shankaracharya experienced the higher state. He was talking all the time about Brahman and how the whole universe is my experience. The world is illusory. But at the same time, if you look at the whole of India, he has established so many temples with so many deities. And he has composed so many hymns because he knows that highest Advaita is not for everybody. Ordinary people needs devotion. And for that purpose, he had written hymns and instituted the worship of God in different forms. Since one cannot easily get rid of the ego, the bhakta does not explain away the states of waking, dream, and deep sleep. So that's the difference between the jnani, the knower of Brahman, and the devotee. We have said earlier, Sri Ramakrishna said the knower of Brahman, say all these states are waking, dream and sleep, everything is Maya, illusory. But the devotee does not explain away the states of waking, dream and deep sleeps. He accepts all the states. Further, he accepts the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. The bhakta sees that God alone has become the 24 cosmic principles, the universe and all living beings. He also sees that God reveals himself to his devotees in a tangible form, which is the embodiment of spirit. This idea that bhakta sees that God alone has become everything, the 24 cosmic principle. Sri Ramakrishna says that is vijnana. After attaining the highest jnana, knowledge of Brahman, the mind comes down and sees that everything is nothing but Brahman. See the universe, but nothing is, he is not, deluded by the universe, not fooled by the universe. See through that. Seeing everybody, see only Brahman. Everything, whatever he or she sees, is nothing but Brahman. It's like you see the mirage, see the lake, the reflections, the trees, everything. From a distance you are seeing. Suppose, as in the case of, it happened in the case of Swami Vivekananda, when he was traveling to Rajasthan, in the desert, he used to see the mirage. He didn't realize it was mirage. He saw the lakes at a distance with trees around, and the reflection, the water, the waves, the water have ripples on the top. Beautiful. And he used to wonder, this is a desert area, and they call it desert, and look at the beautiful lakes there. One day, being so thirsty, he walked towards the lake, one of those lakes, to drink some water, and the lake just disappeared. Where did the lake go? Then suddenly it came in a flash. Oh, this is mirage. He has heard about it, but he experienced it. The next day, again he saw the lake with the trees around, and he was not fooled. Seeing it, but no, this is mirage. This is not real. So the person of, after experiencing the knowledge of Brahman, when the person comes down, see everything in the world, but no, that person is aware that everything is nothing but Brahman. It's not fooled by that. So the devotee, that is, Sri Ramakrishna says vijnana. And Shankaracharya stopped with jnana, but Sri Ramakrishna went one step further and spoke about vijnana, the devotee coming down from the highest state and seeing everything. The bhakta sees that God alone has become the 24 cosmic principles, the universe and the living beings. He also sees that God reveals himself to his devotees in a tangible form, which is the embodiment of spirit. If devotee wants to experience God in a particular form, God reveals himself in that particular form. We'll stop here.
This week we've got the yoga class on Thursday morning from 10 to 11:15 a.m. We have the spiritual evening discussion on Friday night. That's led by Pravrajika, Gayatriprana. Next Sunday, we've got a new event, a new monthly event. That's the Vedanta Book Club. It'll take the place once a month of the Sunday talk. So it will be from 11 a.m. It'll be interactive. Gayatriprana will lead the discussion. And the first item we're going to read, so to say, is an article by Mataji, The Restless Mind. It's from the book Vedanta in Practice, Spiritual Unfoldment. And it's a transcription of one of the lectures that Mataji gave some years ago. We're now going, also tonight, Gayatriprana via Microsoft Teams, will be giving her monthly Bhagavad Gita class, just now into the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga. Just starting. Yeah, so that's from 8 to 9 p.m. So you're always welcome to virtually join in with that. Now we'll conclude with a guided meditation, which I'll be conducting, and I've just got a little bit of setting up to do with that.